All right, hi guys. All right, this is our last activity for the day. We're going to read Clever Tom and the Leprechaun because tomorrow is St. Patrick's Day, so we want to read a fun story, folk tale about Clever Tom and the Leprechaun, and then we're going to do a little bit of a writing about if you caught a leprechaun. So our story is called Clever Tom and the Leprechaun. One fine day, on Lady Day in the harvest, Tom Fitzpatrick took a ramble down the lane. Click, clack, he heard through the hedge, so Tom tiptoed over closer to take a look. The clacking sound stopped when Tom peeped through the bushes, and in the shadow, what did he see? Why, a big gallon pitcher and a teeny tiny man with a brown leather apron and a three-cornered hat. So he's right down there. Up the small man climbed on his wee wooden stool and dipped his little piggin into the crocket. Then he settled down and with his full mug beside him to hammer on the heel of a fairy-sized shoe. By the powers, thought Tom, it's a leprechaun. If I catch him and scare him, he'll give me his gold. Since I'm a clever fellow, that should be simple. Before the sun sets, I'll have my fortune made. So he finds this leprechaun and he decides he's going to catch him to make a fortune. Tom stared at the leprechaun and tried not to blink. He knew that if he looked away, the old man would escape. Then he crept up quite near and tipped his hat politely, saying, "Good day to you, neighbor. Blessings on your work." "Thank you kindly," said the small one, but he never looked up. He just kept on tapping at the heel piece of the brogue. And that's like a shoe, because that's what the leprechauns work on. They work on shoes. Tom moved his hand closer while he smiled very sweetly and said, "Today's a holiday. You shouldn't have to work." The leprechaun frowned and answered Tom sharply, "If I do, that's my business and none of your own. Instead of pestering me, young man, you ought to be out watching your father's fields. Look there, the cows have broken into the oats. See, they're knocking the corn about. Cows in the cornfield." Tom's head started turning. You can see from his face he's a little confused. But he wasn't fooled by the leprechaun's trick. Quickly he grabbed the sly fellow and cried, "Now you're my prisoner. Tell me, where is your gold?" The leprechaun wiggled and twisted and whined. "I'm just a poor man," but Tom held him fast. "You and I both know you're lying," said Tom, and he made a fierce, frightening face. Finally, the leprechaun quit squirming and said, "Tom Fitzpatrick, you're too clever for me. I see you are after my buried treasure, so I'll have to show you where it is hid." With his eye on the bitty man locked in his fist, Tom followed where the leprechaun led him. He traipsed over a hill and under some hedges, and through a ditch and across the peat bog, and at last, just when Tom feared he had been hoodwinked, that means tricked, he found himself in a great field of weeds. "Dig there," said the leprechaun, pointing to a bush. "Deep under that bullion is where I put my gold." "Thunderation," said Tom, "I need to fetch my spade, but when I return I'll be lost. There are 40 acres of bullions here, and each plant looks just like the other." So those bullions are all those yellow plants there, and Tom said he's going to go get his spade, which is another word for a shovel, but he's going to go get. Still watching the leprechaun, Tom figured out a plan. He tied his bright red garter around the bush. "Swear, you old rascal, that you won't take this off while I run back to get my spade." "That I will promise you," the little man said. Tom grinned, knowing leprechauns always keep their word. "Now, since I have shown you where my treasure is, I don't suppose you'll need me anymore." "No," said Tom, "my fortune's made. You may go, and good luck go with you." "Then goodbye, Tom Fitzpatrick," said the leprechaun. "May you do much good with what you find." Away Tom ran as fast as he could run, figuring how he'd spend the gold. Then back he came with his shovel in his hand, back to the field of the bullions. So he ran to get his big shovel, and then he's coming back with it. But when he got there, lo and behold, a garter, a red ribbon, just like his own, was tied to each and every bush as far as he could see. So the leprechaun tied a red garter, a red ribbon around all of the bushes. You think Tom's going to be able to tell which one is his? I don't think so. Tom dug under the bullion where he thought he had tied the red ribbon, but nothing was buried under that bush, and so he dug under another. He dug to the east and he dug to the west, and still he found no treasure. The harvest moon rose as he dug to the north and set it as he dug southward. When the sun came up, Tom saw he had dug 100 holes, and tired Tom Fitzpatrick knew he couldn't find that gold. So he gave up and headed for home. Was he tricked by the leprechaun? I believe so. From then on, Tom always carried a spade, and he never stopped listening for a tapping in the field. Every chance he got, he'd tell how he had nearly found the gold. And since I'm a clever fellow, Tom would end his tale, the next time I catch that leprechaun, I will have my fortune made. Okay, now what we're going to do is you are going to do a writing assignment about if you were to catch a leprechaun. And so Mom and Dad would have printed this out for you, and this is the handwriting paper, and it has like a little square up at the top. And so what I'm going to ask you to do is copy the sentence starter, so you can go ahead and pause this so you can copy it. If I caught a leprechaun, I would. And then I want you to use the sounds that you know and tapping things out to finish that sentence of, if I caught a leprechaun, I would. And tell me what you would do if you were to catch a leprechaun. So go ahead and pause this so that you're able to copy it down. And then you can start to do your illustration today. If all you get written is your sentence for right now, that's absolutely fine, and we'll finish the illustration tomorrow. All right, I'm looking forward to seeing them. All right, have a good night. Bye.